What's up everybody, welcome to my channel where we don't do and think like the average person out there. In this video today, we're going to be talking about what makes the stock price move. Did you think it just magically move like that? No, it doesn't. So you may have purchased your first stock and it fell in value. Like, how comes? I thought stocks was supposed to go up in value only. But the reality is, stock go up and stock goes down. So in order for this to happen, you have to have a buyer and a seller, and they negotiate which price they want to purchase the stock for. So for example, I have an Apple stock for $100. Now I have some emergency come up and I need to get some money real fast. Now the fastest way for me to get this cash is to sell my stock for $90 because nobody wants to spend $100. Boy, the sunlight a pressure me, Besides, that's not the point. Now I have to place an order to sell my stock for $90. Now you, the buyer, come and buy that stock for $90. That will cause the stock price to decline. Now there are several other factors that may cause a stock price to move. So let's dig right into them. The value of a stock is really dependent on a company making profits. That's all it boils down to. So if a company reports exceptional earnings, you can see movements in the stock price. So if the report is good, say a 50% increase in say net profit, so that will cause a demand for the stock and investors will be inclined to buy more because they see value in that company. So on the flip side of that, if the earnings are poor, then investors are going to sell their shares, causing the stock price to decline. Another thing that you have to look out for that will cause a stock price to move is news articles. Investors do respond to good news and bad news. So if the news is bad, you can expect investors to sell. If the news is good, then you can expect investors to buy. So for example, let's take for example, if SSL was a stock, if SSL was trading at say $10 and there was such a bad news about them, you can expect the stock price will probably drop to like even $3. Just saying, I'm not a prophet, I'm just giving you an example. But then if SSL was supposed to turn around and still be a profitable company, build up back its reputation, then buying at $3 will be a good bargain. So when these things do happen, you have to look for the opportunity to capitalize. Boy oh boy, social media, believe it or not, if certain people of certain status make certain social media posts about certain stocks, then you can expect investors to act on that. It happens all the time. So we're not going to pretend like it doesn't happen. It happens. While I don't have my 1 million followers yet, right? If I was supposed to tweet and say, boy, I'm going to buy up some NCB stock and I have the 1 million followers, don't you think the 1 million followers are going to buy NCB stock as well? Causing the stock price to jump. And by the way, guys, when I do talk about stocks, right? I merely jump for some random example. I am not a shareholder in NCB any at all. Whenever you hear about mergers and acquisition, that's a word that I struggle to pronounce, like acquisition, did I say it correct? Right, so whenever you hear about mergers and acquisitions, yeah, I think I got it now, you can also look for movements in the stock price. So a great example of this was when Elon Musk stated that he was going to acquire Twitter. You would have realized that Twitter price moved based on that news. So the opportunity will more often than not be in the company that will be acquired. Another great example, although it didn't happen, was when there were talks of Dollar Financials acquiring Access Financial. You'd have seen movements in Access Financial stock price based on that news. So these things do present short-term trading opportunity from time to time, and even long-term investing opportunity as well. I always say, look at what's happening around you and then you can find the stocks. So industry-specific developments also drive stock prices over time or even in the short term. For example, what's taking place at the Montego Bay International Airport now, the expansions, right? You'll see that this is good for the tourism sector. So you have to ask yourself the question, which stocks will be impacted? So when these things do happen, investors will assess the outlook of the industry and then take action based on what their projections are. So if you expect the industry is going to do good, then you can look to invest in that industry. So if things are bad for the industry, then you can look for a decline in the stock price because investors are going to be selling. Have you ever looked at the news section for a stock and you see connected parties buying, connected parties selling, directors selling? These things will also influence investors to buy or sell a stock. So when a director is buying, one may assume that the director has some information they don't have, and the director do believe in their company. So investors will see this as a good sign, and this will cause the stock price to go up. And likewise, they would be selling because why would a director be selling their stock? Things may not be looking too good. Broker recommendation. Yes, these also cause the stock price to move because if a broker where the experts are send out a recommendation, say buy Wisynco stock because they see growth, it has some money, then investors may look into it and say, this is true, and then they go on to invest in Wisynco, therefore causing Wisynco stock price to move up. Likewise, the opposite is also true. Whenever there's news about IPOs, APOs, rights issue, stock split, these things also cause the stock price to move. So if investors hear about stock split, although it doesn't really change anything about the company, for example, Palace Amusement, you'll see the stock price fly. However, this doesn't happen all the times because there was a stock split for Massey, but the same didn't happen. However, when it comes on to additional public offering, you may see declines in the stock price because investors see this as their shares or their share value will be diluted. In terms of IPOs, pre-IPOs, especially for the Jamaica stock market, you will see a decline in stock price. Investors selling stocks maybe to buy or participate in the IPO. If it was a small IPO and there's a demand for the stock, then you'll see the stock price flying. So these are things that you have to take in mind when you're investing. And guys, if you're a new investor or you want a refresher and you really want to learn in depth about investing, you can check out my stock market investing course on Udemy. The link will be in the description of this video. So that's it for now, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll be definitely looking out for you in the next video.